One job, many offices. Here's professional deer manager Phiz controlling the wild fallow population on a farming and forestry estate. It requires lots of days, lots of outings and small, regular numbers of deer in the larder. At the other end of the spectrum is the job of controlling park deer. That's chalk and cheese. One's like working from home, the other's like working on a production line.
Pressurised sort of job today?
Yeah, really pressurised. This is, I find, the most difficult thing we do in terms of deer management. So sort of 80 odd deer in that group. It's not a job that's an enjoyable job at all. It's a job that has to be done. We have to control the numbers as long as they're within an enclosed area, and can be pretty fast and furious. You've got to be very precise with your selection of what animal you want to take. You've got to be absolutely sure of your shot, sure of your backstops. There's a whole load of things come into it, which makes it a pretty tiring day. By the end of the day, we're generally feeling pretty worn out, to be honest with you. 280.
On this Elizabethan estate, Phiz and his volunteer stalkers are limited to 4 days a year to get the number of deer to a sustainable level.
Our theory is that coming in less and taking a heavier cull gives the deer an easier life, rather than having, one full-time or part-time guy coming in here on a weekly basis taking out 1 or 2, which still would put the deer under stress. So by coming in here and hitting it harder for a shorter period of time, we're then able to get out, and after today they'll be left in peace right through until October, basically, September, October.
Okay, I've got you, I see you there. Great, okay, cheers Bob.
It's a pressurised few hours.
Yeah, feel free, mate, crack on, and we'll go and have a look at this lot down by the house there.
Especially since the park is huge, it's still open to the public, and at this time of year, the deer don't hide. They choose safety in numbers.
Yeah, this time of year particularly, now when there's obviously everything's down, cover-wise, the bracken's down, there's absolutely nothing for these deer to hide in. And what that effectively does, it means that they will mob up. We'll have, you might have 100, 200 deer in a group all moving together, which might sound like it makes it easier to actually manage them, but actually makes it more difficult. It's easier if you can just go and find an isolated 1 or 2 and take one out of that. As soon as you've got a big group, anything that spooks them, one shot, and the whole lot will be gone. There's a fair few right down the bottom. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of ground to cover here. This is just one area of the park, but we've spotted a group of deer there, which 491 metres down there. So during the day we can cover a lot of miles here just trying to get into a group, and then sometimes they might just turn and gone and be at the other end of the park.
To meet the park's requirements, Phiz ideally wants to take 30 deer from here today. All are destined for the table, and the game dealer is ready and waiting to receive a lot of venison this evening. But first we need to shoot some deer.
Oh, you're joking. Oh, Jesus Christ. We won't see them again. Absolute typical, man. Jesus. So you can see we spend a lot of time on these days just trying to locate a group. We've got a group, I reckon there was about 80 deer in that group. You managed to locate them, stalk where they were initially was a really nice position, and then one of them moved out. As we were coming down through here, I think they could just see our movement. There's one at the front, leads the way, and the rest have gone with it. So it's back to square one. On that, we'll have to go and see, maybe find another group, let that lot settle for a while. A lot of eyeballs, yeah, a lot of eyeballs. We were lucky here because there's quite a lot of undulation in the park, so we can find areas that gives us really nice safe shooting, but a lot of it is also pretty flat, and the park is open to the general public. There's a couple of main footpaths through it. There's also estate staff all out at work. These are all things that you've got to factor in. In fact, they're the first things we've got to factor in.
The stalkers are all experienced and communication is key. Everyone stands down for a few minutes as walkers head through the park. Then Phiz takes his chance. There are a lot of bodies to choose from.
Basically what I went for there is a mature doe, which is really what we're focusing on taking today. Just as obviously the does will throw a fawn this year, so in terms of keeping the population balanced, you have to manage the does. This hoof of this deer has got serious issues there, compare it to the normal side. So that really is a perfect doe to cull out the park. They sometimes get very long, very curled up at the front as well in here, but it's the first time I've actually seen one looking like that. But yeah, I'm glad we got that one out because that won't have been a very comfortable animal at all. Every park, anywhere that's got an enclosed herd of deer has to do this. They have to go and they have to manage the numbers. Culling with a rifle is, the most efficient way of doing that, and providing it's done properly, it's as humane as we can make it, and ultimately, what we're trying to achieve is a nice balance of bucks, does, fawns that are all in really good condition.
The next opportunity presents itself at the bottom of the valley.
Oh, nice one, mate. I'm literally down by the bridge. They're sort of heading this way. They're very close to the bridge up on the top fence line. The one that's stepping out. Too many of them. There's too many in amongst the branches, which again can't get a.
Clear. I was looking in the gap at the moment.
They might come through the other side of the tree. There we go. So you've got to whatever we take has got to be at the back of the group, David, so that because otherwise you run the risk of the fragmentation off the bullet. There's one at the back now.
On the fence line.
No, it's close. It's basically to the right hand side. On a day like this, it's 101% about being confident in your kit. If you've got any doubt in it, you might as well pack up and go home. And that's really the optics, the rifle, the whole setup. It's absolutely paramount that you're completely confident with it. I was basically in here anything over 100, 150 metres to have it wound right up to 16. You can see exactly what's going on. You can, if you have it on say a 7 or an 8 at this kind of distance, which is about 125, 130 metres, it just gets more difficult to identify the difference between a doe fawn and a mature doe. and we don't want to shoot any fawns in here today. We just have to mature does to regulate the population. So yeah, the kit is really key. The calibre there is a 6XC, which I really like. It's absolutely bang on for this job. Really light recoil, very flat shooting, really accurate. This is all about super precision.
The doe is another good animal to take.
It just looked a bit smaller through the scope, that one. It is just a little bit thinner on the back, so yeah, again, a good one to take out. The obvious deer to take out are any that look like they're ailing. Obviously we'll take them first, and then after that it's deer that fit the criteria, i.e. today, mature does. September it would be bucks with poor antlers, or some of the younger bucks that don't really look like they're going to come, you know, either body weight wise or antler wise come to much. So yeah, but that's another good one to take out for the cull today. So yeah, we'll just keep moving on.
Phiz freely admits it's one of the most stressful days of the year. He needs to be safe, be considerate, and be really good at his job.
Welfare, that's the main thing here. And you know, okay, we shot 20 today, we could have shot 30, but the team of guys, we're all kind of, all see it in the same way. We'd rather come out of here with 20 clean shot animals, humanely dispatched, and have done a good job than come out with 30 and some of those not been so well dispatched. So yeah, animal welfare really is at the front of this project.
For more information about Swarovski's optics, go to swarovskioptic.com.